There is a stigma regarding male Bharatanatyam dancers or male Indian classical dancers in general because it requires you to be in touch with both your feminine sides and masculine sides. Growing up as a kid, I don't even think I had a sense of masculine and feminine. I just knew I liked it and I knew people enjoyed me doing it, so I did it. There's always still that little Jeeno in the back of my head. It's like, oh, I shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Like, don't go out in public, people might stare. I had a quarter for every time a parent would come up to me after a performance. Like, oh, you're such a, you yourself, you're so good at dancing, but I'm afraid to put my own children, my own sons into it because I'm afraid it might turn them feminine or gay. So that's a huge misconception that is there in the Indian community. They think that dance determines someone's sexuality. That's completely inaccurate. I was born in New York actually, but at the age of 5, my parents packed up and sent me and my brothers to India, just get the culture, get a sense of what it's like to grow up there. I lived there for about 5-6 years in Kottayam, Kerala. That's where I was first introduced to this art form, Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam is an Indian classical dance form. It's really old. It dates back to the 2nd century CE. It's a very rich dance form which incorporates a lot of hand gestures, facial expressions, and emotion. It highlights the mythologies and wonders of Hindu gods and goddesses, but more importantly, it highlights the sentiments of the devotees. Traditionally, Devdasis were female dancers. In recent years, there has been an increase in male dancers, but it is still rare. I did feel that stigma in my own life. I don't know how much of it was really from other people or if it was just my own personal insecurities. When I came back to America, my preteen years is when all those perceptions of masculine and feminine traits and my insecurities kind of just blew up. And I think just hearing that in India, even in India, I knew that would be 10 times worse in America. Because I grew up here, I lived here 5 years, I had an idea. I just didn't want those small little comments to get even worse. I just wanted to avoid feeling made fun of. I made the decision to stop dance before coming to America. I told my parents I don't want to do it, I want a fresh start, I want to let it go, I want to come here and just be that basic brown boy. Just play basketball, try to fit in as much as possible. And I did that. I did that for about 5 years after I came here. I see my friends who are girls going on stage and doing these competitions and performing on stage, and I would just watch them. I realized that I was thinking about it way too much, like every day. I would do the hand gestures in my head that I remembered from learning back in India. I would put on music and do the dances that I remembered from India. Then that's when I realized, what am I doing? Why am I so afraid of what people will think? Clearly that's where I want to be. I don't want to be on the court playing basketball. I want to be on stage performing. I want to wear the bells. I want to wear the makeup. I want to convey the stories that these girls are conveying, and I want to be on stage with them. So it took 5 years for me to really grow out of that. So I think when I was 15 or 16 is when I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I really want to get back into it. Luckily enough, I found a teacher who was actually a male. My guru was teaching in a nearby temple, and I've been learning since, and I'm continuing to learn. I'm Catholic. I was always surrounded by my Indian Catholic community. This dance form is a Hindu dance form. So in terms of the Hindu acceptance of Christian dancers, we're presenting art form that's theirs. Traditionally, the men will wear some sort of silk sari. We'll tie it around our waist, and then we'll also wear gungrus on our feet, which are these bells, to accentuate the rhythm. We always wear some sort of eyeliner, kajal. Sometimes we will accentuate with eyeshadow. We want our eyes to be as big and as focused as possible. Anything to accentuate our body language, we do. In our hands, we'll put this red dye. It's called alta. We'll wear lipstick. We'll make our eyebrows even thicker because eyebrows are so important in expressing what we need to express. Growing up, it was just my dad, so he would cake my face on makeup and do my eyeliner. But coming back here and going back to the art form, I think I wanted to hold on to my perceptions of masculinity. So I would do as little makeup as possible. My guru would pull me aside, what are you doing? And put on the heavier eyeliner, put blush on my face, draw on the lipstick, and I would hate it. And the person inside me would be like, no! I didn't want to look any more of what my idea of what feminine was. Eventually, all that kind of faded away and I really started to enjoy it. I've literally really been embracing the makeup aspect of it. You can ask anyone, I'll have the heaviest eyeliner in the whole crowd. You spend like 10, 12 years learning this dance form. You're really not even considered a performer at that point. You're really just a student, purely a student. So 12, 13 years later, you'll have your Arangetam, which is a traditional ceremony which presents you to friends and family members, to the community, that you are a trained Indian classical dancer. When I'm performing this art form and I'm on stage in front of the audience, in front of the lights, I think for the first time, I feel peaceful. Throughout my life, whether it's living up to my parents' expectations, doing well in school, pleasing those around me, life is full of obstacles and things you gotta do. While I'm performing, all that just dissolves away and all that matters is right now. That's one of the few moments I feel actual peace.